Let me ask you something. When was the last time you used a gun that is not meta? Be honest. Every ranked lobby right now is full of Oden, USS9, MG42. It feels like if you don't use meta, you lose. So I decided to test something. For 7 days, I stopped using my main loadouts. No Oden, no USS9, no MG42. Only underrated guns. And today I'm going to tell you the truth about them. Are they secretly broken? Do they need a buff? Or are they underrated for a reason? Let's start. In AR category, I tested two main guns, LAG-53 and BP-50. And I also have two honorable mentions, Type 19 and XM4. Now first, let's talk about LAG-53. When I first used LAG-53, I expected it to feel weak, but it did not. Damage-wise, this gun is very close to Oden. 2 to 3 bullets, and the enemy is down. But here's the difference between LAG-53 and Oden. Oden is forgiving. If you miss one bullet, you can still recover. With LAG-53, if your aim is not sharp, you lose the gunfight. The fire rate is slower compared to other ARs. Mobility is actually better than Oden. ADS speed feels smoother. Recoil is controllable if you build it correctly. So does LAG-53 need a buff? No. This gun rewards accuracy. It is underrated because most players prefer easier options. Now KN-44 feels completely different. It's not flashy, it doesn't melt instantly, but it is consistent. Fire rate is balanced, damage is stable, recoil is very easy to control. Compared to Oden, it has less damage per bullet, but more forgiveness because of fire rate. Mobility is decent. Mid-range fights feel comfortable. Does it need a buff? Not really, it's balanced. The problem is not the gun, the problem is that it doesn't dominate like meta weapons. It's reliable, not explosive, and sometimes players confuse balanced with weak. In SMG category, I tested Chicom and GKS. And this is where things got interesting. Chicom is a burst SMG, which means if all bullets land in one burst, it melts. The damage output per burst is strong, but here is the problem. If you miss one burst, you are in trouble. USS9 is consistent and automatic. Chicom requires precision. Mobility is good. Recoil is stable. But the burst delay makes it risky. Does Chicom need a buff? Yes. A small reduction in burst delay would make it much more competitive. Right now, it feels high risk for average reward. Now, GKS. This gun surprised me more than Chicom. The recoil is very clean. Damage is consistent. Fire rate is not crazy fast, but it is accurate. Compared to USS9, GKS feels calmer, less chaotic. If your aim is solid, you can win gunfights consistently. Does it need a buff? No. It deserves more recognition. This gun is strong in the right hands. In LMG category, I tested Bruen MK9. Normally, I use MG42, or sometimes Chopper. MG42 is pure aggression, very high fire rate. But it burns ammo quickly and recoil can be harder to manage. Bruen MK9 feels different. The damage is steady. Recoil control is easier compared to MG42. Mobility is better than Chopper, but slower than ARs. In long fights, Bruen feels reliable. It does not instantly melt like MG42. But it is more controlled. Does Bruen need a buff? No. It is balanced. Players ignore it because MG42 feels more explosive. But Bruen is more stable. After using only underrated guns for 7 days, here is what I learned. Meta guns are easier to use. Underrated guns require more discipline. Some guns truly need small adjustments, like Chicom. But most underrated guns are not weak. They just demand better aim and positioning. So before you blindly follow the meta, try something different. You might surprise yourself. Now I want to hear from you. Which underrated gun do you use? And which gun do you think deserves a buff? Comment below. And if you enjoy experiments like this, subscribe. Because we are not just using meta. We are testing everything.